All right, let's talk squats. If you've ever seriously put a barbell on your back, you've probably had this debate in your head. What shoes am I supposed to be wearing? It seems like a small detail, but believe me, your choice of footwear can totally change your lift.
So what's it gonna be? Those fancy-heeled weightlifting shoes or just a good old pair of flat-soled sneakers? This is probably one of the biggest gear debates you'll hear in any gym. And today, we're gonna break it all down, not to pick one winner for everyone, but to help you figure out which one is the winner for you.
But hang on, before we even get into the whole heeled versus flat thing, we need to lay down some ground rules. There are a few key features that any good squat shoe, no matter the style, absolutely has to have. These are the non-negotiables.
And here they are, the 3 golden rules. First up, you need a rock-hard, non-compressible sole. We'll get into why in a sec. Second, you need an unshakable grip. The last thing you want is your feet sliding around with hundreds of pounds on your back. And third, you need a shoe that actually fits your foot. You know, whether you've got wide feet, flat feet, whatever, the fit is crucial. Get these 3 things right, and you're building your squat on a solid foundation.
So let's talk about that hard sole. Why is it so important? Well, this quote right here just nails it. Squatting in a soft, squishy running shoe, it's literally like trying to sprint on sand. All that power you're trying to drive through the floor just gets soaked up by the cushion. You're just leaking force all over the place, and your stability completely vanishes.
Okay, so now that we've got the basics down, let's bring out our first contender. We're talking about the specialized, heeled weightlifting shoe. What's the big deal with these things anyway? What are they really designed for?
So what's the secret sauce here? Well, a heeled lifting shoe really only has one main job: to give you more range of motion at your ankle than you naturally have. By lifting your heel up off the ground, it basically gives your shins more room to travel forward without your heel popping up. It's a clever little biomechanical cheat code.
And how much of a lift are we talking about? The industry standard, the height you're going to see on most shoes, is 3/4 of an inch. That's kind of the magic number. It's just enough lift to let your knees track forward properly, which then kicks off a whole chain reaction of good things for your form.
And those good things are total game changers for some people. Because your knees can come forward more, it lets you keep your torso way more upright. That means less strain on your lower back. It's easier to keep your spine in a safe, neutral position. And for a lot of lifters, it suddenly makes hitting proper squat depth feel almost easy. It's an incredible tool, especially if you struggle with tight ankles.
Now, I can already hear some of you thinking it. Isn't this just a crutch, a shortcut for people with bad mobility? It's a super common thing to say about heeled shoes, so let's just tackle that head on.
And here's the thing you have to understand. It's a tool, not a crutch. For so many of us, limited ankle mobility isn't just about not stretching enough. It can be your actual bone structure, you know how your ankle is built, or old scar tissue from an injury, or heck, just the reality of sitting at a desk all day. A heeled shoe is a practical, smart tool that lets you squat safely and effectively around those things.
And it's not just about the heel. These shoes are packed with other awesome features. You've got those metatarsal straps that crank down over your midfoot and give you this incredible locked-in feeling. The soles are usually made of super hard wood or plastic, so absolutely zero power gets lost. And these things are built like tanks. Seriously, one good pair could last you 5, maybe even 10 years of heavy lifting.
Okay, that is a really strong case for heeled shoes, right? But let's not call it just yet. Let's turn the tables and see what the humble flat shoe has to say for itself, because it's got some powerful arguments on its side too. And the first argument is a knockout punch for a lot of people: the price. I mean, just look at this chart. It's not even a contest. You can grab a great pair of flat shoes for like $20 to $60. Meanwhile, a decent pair of heeled lifters will start at $100 and can easily push past $200. That's a huge difference.
So why go flat? Well, number one, they're super affordable. Plus, the variety is just insane. You can use classic Chucks, wrestling shoes, some people even use indoor soccer shoes. They're sold everywhere, which means you can actually go to a store and try them on. And of course, if you're one of those lucky people who's just blessed with amazing natural mobility, you might not even need the help from a heel in the first place.
And that brings up a really practical point: the actual experience of buying them. Heeled shoes are specialty items, right? You're probably buying them online, which means you're just kind of guessing at the size and hoping for the best. With flats, you can walk into pretty much any shoe store, try on 5 different pairs, and walk out that day with a perfect fit. You can't put a price on that convenience.
So we've got 2 really strong options here, each with some clear pros and cons. Now comes the most important part. How do we take all this info and actually figure out what's the right choice for your body and your squat?
But first, a quick warning, because this is a really common trap. A lot of lifters who switch from heeled shoes to flats will say they suddenly feel stronger, but what's really happening is often an illusion. When they take away that heel, their ankle mobility becomes a problem again, and they start, without even realizing it, cutting their squats high. Yeah, the weight feels easier when you move it less distance, but that's not a real strength gain.
This table really sums it all up, doesn't it? For mobility help, heeled shoes are excellent. Flats give you 0. For stability, heeled shoes win thanks to those straps. For pure power transfer, again, the ultra-hard soles give heeled shoes the edge. But for cost, it's a blowout win for flats. So it really just boils down to this. Heeled shoes are amazing for lifters who need help with their ankles, and flat shoes are a fantastic, affordable option for lifters who already have great mobility.
And that brings us to the big takeaway. We started this whole thing trying to figure out what the world's best squat shoe is. But after looking at all of this, you start to realize that's completely the wrong question to be asking.
The real question, the one you should be asking yourself, is what's the best shoe for my body? Do you have ankle issues that a heel could instantly fix, letting you finally hit depth with a proud, upright chest? Or do you have great mobility and would feel more grounded and save a bunch of money with a flat shoe? The answer isn't in a box on a shelf, it's in your squat.